your hair, if it doesn't look good, it doesn't really finish off your whole look. You don't look as polished. You can have Balenciaga on or whatever, any designer brand.
That's what Neri Niyazov from Cut Culture NYC told me. But is he right? Forget the usual 15-minute cut. He's about education, face shape, and confidence. In this conversation, we're breaking down why your haircut might matter more than your clothes. I said, what? Let's get into it. Yo, today we're going to talk with Neri Niyazov, and we're going to talk about something. I'm laughing, but I'm going to keep on doing it because I feel him, as I pronounce his last name slightly incorrectly, but I'm American. We're going to talk about something the everyday man should have an interest in. How important is getting a haircut, and how does it affect your style? Well, Mr. N, you're really double N, but we're here in your building. How are you, man?
Good. Thank you for having me on.
Yeah. No, thanks for your willingness. So before we go into our topic, please tell us, so what do you do?
I am a barber, loosely said, because we do dive into more than just barbering. We do styling.
Okay.
We cater to people's looks specifically to what they want. It's more than just a copy-paste haircut where you usually go to a barber shop, you come in, you sit down, you say the usual, you sit down and you get out. It's 15 minutes, it's a rush job. They do the same haircut literally to every single person. What we do here is way more intense. We look at how you look, your style, your face, your head shape, depending on how short you go. And we base it off of that.
Okay. And I realized, because he was giving me such a hard time about the pronunciation of his last name, we are here in his store, Cut Culture NYC, here in Chelsea. So, as someone who has had haircuts all of his life, not as much now, big shout out to my barber, Panama, in my neighborhood on Court Street. I have now been going very infrequently because I discovered a new hairstyle during COVID.
Right.
What you're saying to me as a premise, I find to be extremely interesting because it's not that I've never had an opinion about getting my hair cut, but I think being educated about my haircut is something that I've never given any thought of. Why do you deem this so important for your customer base?
It's important because you're getting dressed.
Yeah.
You want to look good.
Yeah.
Your hair, if it doesn't look good, it doesn't really finish off your whole look. You don't look as polished. You can have Balenciaga on or whatever, any designer brand. It could be top notch, but if your hair is out of shape, it's not looking right, you don't look good. And I mean, I think it makes a big deal. It goes in together. It's probably 50% of the equation is probably of your look, because people are looking at they look at your face, they see your hair, and then they look at your clothes as well. Or maybe vice versa. Maybe the clothing goes first and then they look at your face. But either way, it's a big portion of your image.
Yeah, it's funny because if we attempted unscientifically to try to suss out the percentage, right? You know, I often tell potential clients, people make judgments in 1/10 of a second, right? So they give you the once over, right? And then that's going to be the determination of, you know, how they treat you, you know, how you're to be received.
Right.
So I think about my hair as I'm growing it out again. This has been like a 1.5-year experiment each time. And again, this started at COVID. And just for backstory for people who don't know, I used to get my hair cut every 3 weeks. My barber is diagonally across the street from me. Okay, we have each other's phone number, right? So I can text him for an appointment. It's that type of relationship. If you remember, and if the listeners remember, particularly being here in New York City, when COVID happened, barbershops were shut down, nail salons, beauty salons shut down. So 3 weeks comes, can't get a haircut anyway. But then I remember saying to myself, who am I getting a cut for now? Right? I'm not meeting clients. I'm not interacting with anyone. I'm in my house. So you probably remember this just as well as I. I remember that first Monday that they gave the green light. I remember like it was yesterday because there was a big PDF. I don't know if you remember that from the state about the guidelines for COVID in dealing with the public. And I remember giving that to my barber. I'm positive my barber didn't know about that PDF until I gave it to him. And I was like, hey, you're going to be, following all these guidelines? Because, it was great concern, right? Because it was a viral affliction, so to speak, that hit us. So I remember getting it cut. And to his credit, he only had like 2-3 people in at a time. We were spaced out. Really impeccable. But I remember after I got it cut, I said, I was really concerned about being ill with COVID. And I said, I don't think I'm coming back in 3 weeks. Again, I don't need to. I'm not meeting clients. So I let it grow, and I let it grow, and I let it grow. And then 18 months later, I had this a mass of curls. And people really liked it. It was a totally different look. I never had that type of look. And even a friend of mine at that time, I could laugh. She said, oh, you should have opened an Instagram account for your hair. So again, I've done this now. This will be my 3rd time doing this. And something that I know you understand as a professional, after I did it the first time, I remember sitting with my barber and explaining to him, hey, I'm no longer going to be coming every 3 weeks. I have this new look. People really like it. Chicks dig it. So I don't want you to take this personally that now I'm going to be coming amazingly infrequently. Right? And I remember when we first met through your sister Natasha, I was telling you that when I first went to get it cut, I was trying to negotiate with my barber. And I was like, well, I really like this, but I thought maybe we just cut it half then. He just looked at me so blank. He was like, nope, we cutting it.
We don't do that type of thing. We go short only.
Right. And I think to your point, and maybe he would acknowledge it as well, it was just more about this what? There's so much.
Yeah.
There is no middle ground. And I respected that, That's his experience, right? So I'm saying all that now to come back to this whole, your premise here in this shop, your ethos is educating the customer.
Correct.
So why is that so important to you?
It's very important. Education is probably the most crucial part of all of this. After COVID is like literally a turning point. A lot of people grew their hair out. And a lot of people started noticing it actually looks good too.
Yeah.
So there's a lot that you can do with your hair. But the hairstylist, barber, whatever you want to call them, they have to be educated on what they're doing as well. There's a lot of things involved when you're cutting longer hair. You need to figure out what will look good for that person's face, specifically. Longer hair, shorter hair. As you start growing out your hair, you'll actually see that there are different growth patterns now. It might curl in one direction where it never curled that way before. You know what I mean?
I call that characteristics, like the characteristics of your hair. Yeah.
So a big part of it is not to fight it. It's always to go into the direction of what your hair is actually doing. And what we used to do as barbers traditionally, you don't run with what your hair does. You chop it down and then you plaster it with gel.
Not in my instance. We don't do gel.
No gel. Okay, but it's short, so it's tameable. But a short haircut, you have to get often. It will only look good. There's no such thing as like low maintenance. It's either a low maintenance haircut where you don't have to style it, or it's you get a least frequent haircut, but you do have to style it. So you're going to spend more time at home styling it. You won't go back to the barber or salon as often, and vice versa. So you're going to get a really short haircut. You could wake up, run out the door, but you're going to have to get a haircut every 2 weeks, if not less.
This is interesting. So are you saying that there's no wrong way to achieve an aesthetic of a haircut, meaning short versus long?
You can make a short haircut look really good with proper proportions.
And what do you mean by proper proportions?
The head rounds. A lot of people, a lot of barbers, what they do, they take it up a little too high.
And what does that mean?
That means you're digging into the curve, the parietal ridge of the head. That's where the head starts turning, so it starts becoming round. Your head is round. Most people don't realize that. When you cut into the round of the head, it's not a very flattering look for the person, especially men. If you're going for a more masculine shape, the shape that you're going after is square. Square is a more angular, structured shape. Round is a little bit more airy, a little bit more feminine. So, plus, if you have a face shape that's round to begin with already, and you give someone a round haircut or hairstyle, you're doubling down on round and round. There is no harmony, and it does not fit the person. So people come in, they ask for a particular haircut or show a picture or a reference photo, usually of Brad Pitt.
Not at my shop.
You'll be surprised. Or Drake, one or the other. It's usually one or the other.
Oh, really?
Yes. And it just doesn't fit them. They don't have those dimensions of their face or forehead or whatever it may be. And as a professional, I think it's super important that you tell the person, this is probably not going to fit you. You're going to look odd. So I think that's a big thing. But a lot of barbershops, unfortunately, it's a business. We're trying to make money.
The more heads.
Right. But more heads means factory line. You can't dedicate as much time per person. And you might not be able to dedicate the proper time to really understand what the person wants.
What do you consider an average time with a customer here at this shop?
Here at the shop, it's going to be an hour.
Whether it's a short cut or a long cut?
Doesn't matter.
Okay.
We are also catering to a completely new area. So these are all new clients. And all new clients will get 1 hour.
Okay.
1 hour, why? It's also a wash. It's consultation. You need to know, do they style their hair? Do they not style their hair? Do they put product? Do they use a blow dryer? How do they dress? What's their lifestyle? How much time do they really want to dedicate to their hair? And it's important. So, I mean, if they tell me it's low maintenance, we go towards low maintenance if that's what they want to go after. But it's still, the time is dedicated to 1 hour, regardless of whether you're going to take the whole time to cut their hair.
I understand.
It can take that long just to get an idea of what we want.
When you're asking, like you said, so for the audience, you have 2 shops.
This is the third.
Right. Your other 2 shops are out on the island.
Correct.
In Comac.
Yes.
This is your first entree into the city. You're here in Chelsea.
Yes.
And to your point, you're building a book of business, one could argue, right? You're building new clientele.
Right.
It's extremely unlikely that your Comac customer is coming down here unless they happen to work here. And now, they could go, oh, I could get a haircut after work. Right? So you're starting from scratch.
Basically.
So when you're asking all those questions for all these new heads, where are you filing this information?
Reword that, please.
Sure.
Filing
this information. Like you said, it's a new person. They're sitting here in this chair. Right? You said it's an hour.
Right.
Cut and consultation.
Yes.
where are you filing that information so when they come back, you know, oh, this is the person who wants this, who needs this.
Right in here.
All in there.
No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, come on.
No, we do use a booking platform. Booking platform has basically an internal side and an external side. So we have notes for the customer and we do have notes for ourselves.
Okay.
So everything will be noted on a technical side of things. You know, it's more for us.
Right.
The customer will not know those terms.
Right.
So that's
Okay.
that's how it's filed. Yes.
So do you literally, after you send them on their way, do you go into your phone or your tablet and then?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yes. So everything's written down.
Wow.
Yeah.
And is this an app you design or is this white labeled, this app?
Yes, we use Squire.
Okay.
So you do have an option. It's a booking platform, maybe specifically for barbers. I think it's more popular amongst them. It does have notes for you to jot down people, but traditionally the barber usually has good memory with this. I've had situations where I haven't cut people in 7 years. They come sit down, they say usual, and you actually know what they want. So it is a common thing for the barber to not remember your name. They'll forget, right. But they will. But they definitely will remember your haircut.
Mm. Yeah, you know, at first I was surprised, but now after reflecting, that makes sense to me.
Yeah.
I've only had personally a handful of barbers in my life. Mm. If I attempt to look at broad generalizations, I can't speak for other races or ethnicities, but I feel African American men. We don't rotate barbers.
Okay.
Particularly if we stay in the same city, the same area. So I can literally count on two hands the barbers I've had in my decades of life. In this current relationship, I'd have to really give it some thought. Probably I could just look at my phone, but I think we've been together 10 years, or close to 10 years.
Wow.
Yeah, because once a barber knows me, to me, that's it. Yes. It's about really I'm a brand loyal type of person. So
it's a relationship.
It's a relationship.
Absolutely.
And no person, regardless of race or ethnicity, wants to come out that door looking effed up.
No.
Right.
Make me look bad.
Right. Yeah, but but there's some barbers who don't have the skill.
Right.
Or maybe to your point, the communication between that individual and the client for the customer coming out whole. Right. Listen, you're a barber, but I'm sure you remember coming out of a shop chopped up by barbers sometime in your life.
Of course.
I remember that too. Matter of fact, when that happened to me, I was watching another barber cut everyone fly. And literally after I got butchered, I went right up to him and said, "You're my barber." As I got butchered with the other barber. And was
still sitting in his chair.
Oh, I got up, but
no,
but it was like this.
Gotcha.
So he saw it all, because I'm like, I was about to go on a date with the girl next door.
Right.
And I'm like, I can't believe this. This looks terrible. But I went right to that individual, and I had that relationship for a long time. He always said, I was in undergrad at that time, at NYU, not too far from where we are here. And he said, I can't believe you did that, but that's who I am still as a person. Like, you don't ask, you don't get. And I was like, I'd been watching him. He had clients for hours.
He's busy for a reason. He's good.
Right. And I walked right up to him. I said, "You're my barber." Next time. And then that relationship was probably 10 years.
And how old were you when that happened to you?
Oh, like I said, I was an undergrad. I think I was a freshman. Either freshman, so I don't know. Anywhere from freshman to junior year at NYU. Like I said, particularly, it was on the night of a date for someone that I looked at from afar since junior high school, and finally was going to have my first date with, the girl next door. Mm-hmm. And I think I remember telling her, because I was just like, "Oh, this looks terrible." And she was like, "Oh, this looks that bad." But haircut like clothing.
Right.
You know, like you've said a lot of things. I'm like
Yeah.
parallel. In light of what we do, that how it makes you feel. If you look in the mirror and you look butchered, you don't want to be around the public.
Your confidence is gone.
Your confidence is gone. Before we had this interview, you mentioned something that I never thought of in my life. So here you are, you're in a new space, and I'm looking, and I'm like, wow, you got lights, and everything looks nice. And you go, no, we need more lights. Care to share that story again? Why do you need more lights when it seems like...
It's bright in here.
Seems like it.
So,
I can see my intern's hair.
Yes.
Yeah, they all got hair. I can see it.
It's not about more lights. It's about properly placed lights. So same thing, I think it's really close to videography, photography. When you're doing a fade, this is specifically for short haircuts.
Okay.
Fade.
And specifically fade.
Fade specific, right.
Okay.
When you are recording, when you're looking at the side of somebody's head and the light is overhead, you're creating shadows.
Really?
So the shadow that's created on the person's head, you might be working and it looks good. When they go out into the light, it's not so overhead naturally. So it can actually look like with demarcation in it. So you'll have lines in your fade as you walk out.
What?
Yeah. It'll look good in here because you made it specifically for that light. But when you go out into natural light, it's not going to look good.
Is that specific to people getting fades or just...
It is specifically for somebody that's getting probably like anywhere from a number 1 lower on the side. It is specifically for fades.
Okay.
Because the shape, the silhouette, you could probably get away with less lighting if it's longer.
Okay. Well, I'm not in the fade game anymore.
Yeah, I see that.
But I was back in the day, so there was no question about that. I realized you had said something earlier, and I want to make it a little bit more personal, if I may.
Sure.
You were talking about how everyone has a round head. Okay.
Yes.
Well, I would counter by interpretations of round, meaning
Right.
not a perfect 360.
Right.
Right. Case in point, myself. I have a oval shaped head.
Yes.
I have a narrow head. Right. My head is narrow and long. Right. So when you gave the example before about round head and a round haircut,
Right.
how that wasn't befitting, right? And then you mentioned something, correct me if I'm wrong, you were talking about if the cuts can be square, that's more optimal.
For a more masculine shape.
For a more masculine shape.
Yes.
So in the case of me and my current style, which is an afro, how do you make the assessment? This is an oval.
Correct.
I don't think my haircut, or my hairstyle, because it's not cut, styled, isn't round per se. To me,
It can be, because it is an afro.
okay.
So it can be round. But you said something more important.
What's that?
You said oval.
Yeah.
That's actually the optimal shape. Everything that we try to replicate usually is to keep proportions like an oval shape.
Really?
Yes, because
Why?
because an oval face shape you can have almost any hairstyle. That's
Really?
actually the most optimal face shape that you can have.
I'm here to tell you, for someone who has a long, narrow head,
Long
that's
as
an
it,
oval,
yes, oblong shape is a little bit different.
right?
Narrow forehead, for example, you said it's a little bit more narrow. That's a little different as well, but we can combat all those things. So if you do have a particularly long face, we usually try to give a little bit more volume on the sides. So you kind of widen it. So the proportions are, you're trying to make it look a little bit more round per se, because you're trying to widen it. Because that's what a round face shape would be like.
Okay.
And for somebody that has a round shape, you would do the opposite. Or I should say, sorry, square shape, you would do the opposite.
I'm here to tell you, for someone who has a U-shaped head, Only thing you're doing as you're growing up is wondering what it would be like to have a round head. Like, real talk. It's just like, oh man, you know. I remember once growing up, when someone say like, yeah, it looked like two guys just smashed me on either side. So, you know, but you work with what you have.
Yes.
You mentioned fades, so my generation was part of that era, and obviously the fade has been around before either one of us was ever thought of.
Absolutely.
But in my generation of the fade, I had a high top fade. And I remember that same barber that I watched doing impeccable cuts, and they were all fades, high tops,
Right.
Gumbies, everything. He said, "This is actually the best haircut for your shaped head." High top fade.
Can I say my opinion on that?
Yeah, you can give an opinion.
So if you do have a face shape that's a little longer,
That's me.
oblong, right? What does a high top do? You're cutting down the sides.
Yeah.
So you're making it slimmer, and you're giving it
Volume.
volume on top.
Yeah.
So what you did was my example of the round and round. You just made a
I did
long.
the long and longer.
You
Yeah.
did long and even
yeah.
longer, right? So
Yeah.
it has no. There is no harmony in that. You need to balance it out. So if you have a really long shape, you want to give it that width.
Well, it was high top fade back
Yeah,
then.
yeah. You don't
Back
want
then,
you,
that
you
didn't
didn't
happen.
you didn't want height, and that's kind of like the issue because a lot of young people they just look at trends. They look at the athlete, the celebrity, the whoever, and they go, "I want this," and it just doesn't match them. It looks good on them. It won't really look good on you.
Since I was there and you weren't, I would contend that it looks super dope on me.
I don't disagree. I highly doubt that you can look bad.
It's not that. I could. I told you I got cut up. I got cut up by a guy on the first date with the girl next door. I looked crazy. It was like between a high top and a round afro. It was crazy. I remember just going, "Oh my God, I can't believe I did this. I can't believe this guy sucked." But yeah, of that era, yeah, I was fly as hell.
I believe it.
Yeah,
You're fly as hell now.
I appreciate that. But just saying, you know,
I could only imagine when you were younger.
I'm just saying, it was me and Kid and Play. I was a high top fade. So, and that was inspired by Big Daddy Kane, who was my hero. So, yeah, I mean, I thought that hairstyle was gonna rock forever,
Right.
and things change, which leads to the thing about the fade. You know,
Yeah.
I'm seeing now, you know, younger generation of men rocking the fade, right? And it's great. Like when I see that, I get a kick out of it because I'm like, yeah, I did that 20 years ago. It's come back. It's fun to watch. I will never revisit it because I did it already, right? And like I said, I found this new thing, you know, which I think, you know, I'm going to do this till the wheels fall off, right? Every 18 months, a little bit less. 14 is really the sweet spot. Every 14, 16 months, cut it, grow, cut it. A little before we did this, we were talking about something that I always found to be something that I had no interest in, and it seems like you have an interest in giving this type of information to your client. I have never once known or cared what blade was being used on my head. Is it a 2, is it a 3, is it a 4? I could give 2 bleeps. I've never cared. Why? Why should I care? I'm here, you're the pro, right? And we were having a conversation, you and Miller, who's also one of the barbers here, and it sounded like this was something that you actually want your clients to know about. What blade is being used on their head? What?
So let me reword that.
Yeah, please.
People actually do come in and tell me what the blade is.
That is so crazy to me.
But the thing is that we don't actually want that.
Okay.
We want the opposite. You don't need to tell us technically what to do. You need to tell us what you want it to look like.
Aesthetically,
Right.
right.
What you do is actually appropriate.
Okay.
You don't need to know what number it is.
I've never wanted to know. I think it's the silliest thing. It's just, but there's a crew of people.
Yes.
I've heard it. I mean, even at my barbershop that I go in frequently. Give me a 5, give me a 3. I'm like, how do they know that? Why do they want to know that? That's what I'm paying you for. You know the number. I don't want to know that. I don't want that in my brain at all. I don't care. Is the blade clean? Cut my hair. Like, that's the most important thing. Is the blade clean?
Right.
Did you clean this blade before you cut my hair? I wash my hair before I get my hair cut. That's how I grew up, right? You don't go to a barber with a dirty head of hair. It's disrespectful. Mm-hmm. But all this, the clips, and I'm like, yeah, I never want to know that. I'm never going to know it. And like I said, again, I'm going through arguably a different style phase now, which is the least important ever in this, in my life. But okay, I'm glad we got that cleared up. I was like, what?
Can I say, actually, the best thing that you can do for your barber if you do come in is actually show him a reference photo instead.
Of yourself?
It doesn't have to be, but you can, if you can find comparable hair texture and show him a photo of that, or several, maybe 3 reference photos, that would be way better than you trying to tell me technically what I'm supposed to do, because I don't think you're going to get that right. And that's okay, because we do this for years. This is what we're educated in. You're not going to ask the doctor what he knows, or you're going to tell him what you know.
Right.
It's funny. It's comical, really, but that's how people come in and they try to tell us. But the best thing you can do is just show us a photo of what you want.
You've been in this game a long time. The immediate thing that comes to my mind right now is we're talking about hairstyles. So the question I immediately have for you is, I am stereotypically African American in terms of the texture of my hair. And my guess is that the majority of customers have straight hair like you.
Okay.
So the question is, if a brother comes up in here, how do you handle that?
We do cut all textures.
Okay.
Regardless of how curly.
Okay.
Does it become a little bit more complicated if it's something that we haven't done before? I will not do it. Mm. If it's something that I don't do, if somebody comes in here and asks me about braids, I'm not going to do braids because I don't do I don't braid.
You don't braid.
But if somebody comes in here and asks for a trim, a cut, an afro, I'll do that.
Okay.
We freehand it, we do it with scissors, we'll fade it, we'll taper it, whatever you want, really.
Okay.
I mean, it doesn't vary heavily, but it does vary when it comes to the type of product that you use. More oils and moisturizers for curlier hair, and how you style it. Mm-hmm. That might be a little bit more of a dividing line on my particular grasp on hair, but I always do whatever I can to the best of my ability, and if I cannot do it, you show me something that I can't do, I will not touch it. I'll refer you to somebody that I know that will do a better job.
Okay. All right. So brothers have come in the shop?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay. No, because, we've seen this in movies and TV shows, of our era growing up.
Right.
It'll be a comedic scene, and, a brother comes into a stereotypical white barbershop.
Everybody's
right. I don't remember the movie, but clearly you do too. So, they're just
and vice versa, right? It can be. But, so both ways, I think. It's usually, because it's uncommon. It might be something that you don't know how to do. And I've had people tell me, like, the other shop actually told me they don't do this type of hair. And
right.
I think it's...
But that's a credit to the shop.
It's proper, right. If they told you specifically, and then there's people that do take it and then they butcher it also. Right. So it's it goes both ways.
Right.
So, yeah.
Right. No. And I mean, you nailed it, right? I mean, it's a legitimate question for me to ask, but, there are some barbers that they'll look at a certain quality cross-section of hair and, it's, whoa, can't do that. And then there are others that, hey, I can do it. Right. I want to do it. you have a diversity, right?
Yes.
So you can go from curly
Yeah.
to straight.
I think once you start diving into hair in general, you start going through all textures because you have a love for hair in general. And then you start going towards straight, curly, doesn't really matter because you start going from longer hair to shorter hair to styling hair to, it's just a never ending game of education for us as well. So it's something that's interesting also.
Right.
And that's why, because you have a love for it, you pick up on all those things, really.
Okay. Give me, and again, I know you stress educating the client. Give me an example of your most difficult client.
The most difficult client is someone that doesn't know what they want. That's by far the hardest thing to deal with.
Okay. So give me an example of that. What does that mean?
Somebody comes in and they just really do not know what they want at all. They don't even have a reference. They might come in with their mom. Mom says she wants it shorter. He wants it longer.
That's always the case. I remember that.
Something along those lines. But we have adults, like 17, 18-year-old. And they come in and they just don't know what they want. Because they're young. Indecisive.
Yeah.
And you try to offer them a few different styles that might work. But some people are stubborn more than others. I mean, it's just part of the business, part of the job. Customer service, we have to do our best and try to do the best we can with them.
Okay. And to me, you've kind of hinted at it. What's the best customer experience for you?
Best customer experience is someone that just trusts you at that point, and they go, I know you're going to do the right job. And you do your best, literally, for that person.
Okay. So, Neri, I'm known for doing research. I want you to answer this for me. Barbering isn't just a job, it's an art.
Yes, it can be. But art is subjective.
It is.
There are certain things within hair that are not subjective.
Like what?
In precision barbering, there are guidelines in the way that you cut hair. And those particular things are not subjective. So it kind of is a dividing line of you trying to get yourself educated in precision, where it's like proper guidelines, and then you do something that maybe fits somebody's style a little bit more. So you kind of you learn the rules and then you kind of break them in a sense. And that's more of the art form for barbering, because it can still be definitely subjective. There's certain things you kind of just do. There's a lot of personalization, especially at the end of the haircut, where you can chop into it or whatever. It's very individual. And that's the art part, I think, of barbering. Because nobody's really going to let you do Picasso on their hair unless it's an editorial thing and you're up on stage and you're doing something like that. For barbering, it's a bit more conservative for majority of the time. So it's not quite art. But it is art in the sense of you molding it towards that particular customer.
All right. So you call your barber tools instruments of transformation. Care to elaborate?
Can we go on to another? I don't know.
Hey, I mean, this is what was on your gram, son.
Was it?
Yeah, don't look at my notes.
It was on my gram.
Wow. It was on your gram.
Somebody messed up.
All right. Well, let's see if they messed up again. You have the following 6 principles: precision and technique, personalized experience, continuous growth, trust and integrity, attention to detail, respect for tradition, drive, for innovation. Are those principles familiar to you?
Yes.
Thank God. So let's start with number one, precision and technique.
Precision and technique was just what we were talking about. It's the educational side of it. It was basically created by Vidal Sassoon.
Oh, wow.
So those are like the rules that we kind of go towards. Those were the three shapes that we were talking about before. Those are the main shapes that you have in hair, not just barbering, in hairstyling in general, hair cosmetology, you can call it. Circle, square, triangle. Those are what we base off all our shapes for cutting.
Okay. Personalized experience.
Personalized experience would be the consultation. So that's when we sit down, we talk about what do you do? What's your job? What kind of maintenance for your hair? Do you style? Do you blow dry? Do you want it to be trendy? Do you want it to be aggressive? Is it conservative? Something along those lines. That's going to be that.
Okay. Continuous growth.
Continuous growth is your progress in the field. So continually going to classes for yourself, which there are a huge array of nowadays, not even in New York, but all over all the states and different countries. We've gone to Canada together, Poughkeepsie, here in Brooklyn, one-off classes, look and learns, and then longer 3 to 5 day educational courses.
Wow. Trust and integrity.
Trust and integrity, I mean, it's the relationship that you build with your clientele, basically, showing that you care. Basically, you are their friend and you're doing the best for them.
Attention to detail.
That goes straight back into like the meticulous work, the precision, just being super meticulous with your detail, really. It's important.
Respect for tradition, drive for innovation.
So I've been a barber for 20 years now.
Wow.
So probably 10 years of that time was all traditional barbering, you can call it.
And what do you consider? Yeah, what do
Traditional barbering would probably be more clipper work, clipper over comb work, more than the new era barbering, I'll call it, is more towards scissor work and those techniques that we use with precision.
Oh.
And then, of course, you also have styling, which is something that you don't usually get out of a barbershop, I feel like.
And what constitutes styling? Because I would contend I go to a traditional barbershop.
Right.
Right. Like I said, when I came in trying to negotiate my haircut deal, you looked at me, laughed, and went straight to the bricks. And in a way, that's worked out. That's fine. And like I said, I remember that conversation. You looked and you went, "Yeah, I could see the middle." I was like, "Oh, that's interesting."
Right.
So
again, going back to why do we try to push people more towards a shorter haircut is because there's less styling involved. Most of the time, most barbershops, it's like most of the haircuts, like their portfolio is like an alternative of a buzz cut, basically, because less styling. You don't need to take a blow dryer to it and actually, give it volume, style, whatever, diffuse it, or put product in it. We always literally just dunked gel, like the comb into a jar of gel and just went at it. So it was easier, it was faster. There were reasons why we did it also. I mean, you're in a place where you're trying to generate money, and time is money.
yeah.
And unfortunately, you want to cut as quickly as possible so you can make X amount, because haircuts were always cheap. It's only recent that they actually jumped up in price with like COVID and the whole nine, but now we're going towards, like you said, you don't want to come back so often anymore. So we raise the price, but we give something more to the customer too. So we want to deal with, how is your hair in the morning? Can you style it on your own? And we need to teach you how to do that. You gotta use the proper product, and whether you have to diffuse it, if you have curly hair, or blow dry it with a vented brush or a round brush or whatever, we kind of need to be there to teach the customer how to do that.
Do you think, you're here in the city, you're here in Chelsea, there's a lot of competition.
Mm-hmm.
What you just said, do you think that's one or the differentiator between you and all this competition literally, surrounding you?
Correct. I came here, I looked around at the competition, and I don't think I have any competition. I mean, it would be nice to actually have a community though, because I'm not trying to make it where it's me against everyone. I actually want barbers to come here and actually get a haircut too.
Really?
Yes, absolutely. Because why are we trying? There's enough customers out there for all of us. Why, try to be cutthroat? It's not about being cutthroat. It's about just taking the whole industry and getting better. And yes, that is a differentiator, because I'm coming from a place where I see everybody is doing the same thing, where they are just trying to rush it. For me, it's more about I'm trying to build a relationship with this person. I like cutting hair, and that's just that. I just want to spread love around, that's it, and build a community off of it.
Well said. We are now up to the lightning round. My intern likes when I say that. Why is fashion important, Neri?
Fashion is very important because your image matters. Your image is, you can't sugarcoat the fact that people judge you before you even speak.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, in a split second, people look at you, they glance, and they make their assessment of how you're being perceived.
Yep. So
your fashion is definitely important.
What difference has fashion made in your life?
It's just like everything else, I feel like. It's progress. Just like education, just like cutting hair, everything. I think I'm trying to polish my image, and it's important to me. And fashion is what barbering is for me as well.
Yeah. Yeah. What's a top fashion tip you would give the everyday man so he could look his best?
Simple. Simplicity for me. I usually go for monochrome tones. I like that. It makes it simpler. I don't have a lot of time to pick out my wardrobe in the morning, so I try to have something like a capsule wardrobe per se. So it still looks good, clean, and it's quick.
Yeah, makes sense. What does the term "always be fly" mean to you?
You should always look on point. You step outside, you're your own walking billboard. Somebody could come up to you and, you live in New York City, you have opportunity literally everywhere.
Yeah.
You get a job opportunity, a collaboration, anything really. So I think you should always look in check. Haircut clean, clothes clean, everything looks on point.
Well, I don't have a haircut, so I guess I'm not that clean.
You're clean enough.
So, Neri Niyazov, he's always going to bust on me, of Cut Culture. Thank you so much for the time.
Thank you.
And Mazel Tov.
This was a pleasure. Thank you.